Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, we're on the second part here of the full MONTY project. So if you're just getting onto this video and you haven't seen the last one was me pulling the rear end out of my Montgomery Ward tractor that I have here. This one will be pretty much tearing it down. Next one will be hopefully putting it back together. You'll see the gears, where they go, parts and pieces, things I need to fix. I'm hoping I'll get into all that on the next one and we'll be finished. Not positive yet because I haven't made it that far. So anyhow, so if you're looking to see how to pull these apart, some tips and tricks on what you shouldn't do on some of these things, keep watching. Alright, well, on the beginning of this video you're going to see me pulling this part of it off, and somewhere along the way either I lost the footage or I didn't push the button hard enough and thought I did and didn't get it on film. But anyway, I took my impact wrench with a 3/4 inch socket on it, and that's what size this is. This is sticking up out of your case here with this on there, and I just whipped that off. That's the first step, just getting this 3/4 inch bolt off here. If you don't have an impact, you're going to definitely make sure it's in gear before you go to try and get it out. You're probably going to still need something to really hold on to it. I don't know. With an impact it's way easier, but anyhow, it wasn't that difficult. That's the part you're missing. I sprayed my favorite PV blaster here, and I took my torch and I've been heating on it quite a bit and just kind of going around with this Harbor Freight, just a whole advertisement here, Harbor Freight pry bar here, and just kind of going around. I'm not totally prying real hard. I'm just tapping at it and lifting up a little bit, but I don't want to bend the lip on the bottom down there, so that's just to kind of give it a little bit of a thing, kind of go back and forth, and it is starting to lift up a little bit here. Now you want to heat the piece that you're trying to take off. You don't want to heat the part it's stuck to, because the heat expands and also kind of pulls the penetrating oil into it as well. Ta-da! Now we got that off, we can start pulling stuff out. Now I did go through and I actually did kind of blast this thing off and try and degrease it as much as I could, but obviously I missed some stuff here. But anyhow, we're gonna go around and start busting loose the bolts. Now I don't think I mentioned this is it's a Peerless that I know. It says MOD, what is it? MOD 813A or something like that, and there's a bunch of other numbers. I don't know much about rear ends on tractors, so I couldn't tell you good, bad, or otherwise. I can tell you, I know I've way overloaded this thing several times, and it's lasted for a long time. Doing a lot of stuff it probably shouldn't have been doing, so it's been pretty good for me so far up until now. So anyhow, we're going to start busting this loose. These are 3/8 around here, and I also will say, according to some stuff I looked at and as well as anything I've ever pulled apart, you don't want to just bust these all the way loose and go all the way around in a circle. You want to kind of do it in a crisscross motion, as good as you can, back and forth, and just kind of start out by cracking them a little bit. And as I start doing it, cracking them a little bit, and getting them kind of loose. Well, that's in the way. There's a cover right here, it's totally in the way. I'm going to pull that off. That looks like 1/2 inch. Alright, I'm going to find, I think it's probably a 1/2 inch, I don't know, and get that off of there. Don't forget there's one down in the middle down here. Now, on a couple of videos I saw this bolt went all the way through, but on mine it doesn't seem to go all the way through. And I think I got them all, at least, loosened up here. Now you can kind of go around and just kind of make sure you got them all popped open a little bit here. And you got the tension off, because when they put these things together, they put them together in a certain order, and as they get older and they expand and contract, things start moving around, so you just don't want to let all the tension off of it at once. Pay attention to your sizes too. I don't know if they'll differ from one to the other, at least not yet. So far they appear to be the same. And that plate was 1/2 inch that I had them remove up here. Also, you notice I removed these side pieces here that kind of held it to the top of the chassis there. And I will note that there's 2 holes that are just regular sized holes here on this piece right here. But for me and you, the slotted one actually hooks to the case here, so that way we know which way goes down. Well, then we drop our socket, and I'm gonna have to dig for that. This case is already just coming apart practically. No prying necessary for it. Hopefully the whole thing doesn't come falling off the bottom here. Just in case, I'm going to slide this underneath there a little more, and hopefully that'll kind of hold it. This doesn't smell very good either. Okay, all those seem to be the same size as far as length and things like that, so I'm not too worried about that. I think I'm seeing where my issue is. The other side where I've been standing, this is the shifter right here, in case you're wondering what that bolt goes to. Anyway, right there, you can see, if you can, let me get the light. When I turn the brake here, you can see it's moving up and down, so I don't want to turn it too much. But this piece right here, there is actually, I think, supposed to be some sort of seal in there around this case, or the case is busted a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's just a seal of some sort. Anyhow, that's looking kind of jagged and nasty, and I don't know if you can see that, but it definitely looks like there's supposed to be something in there to keep this more in the hole here. I mean, it's wide open all the way around that there, so I believe that's at least one of the issues I'm having. Couple things. Here's the shifter like I was talking about before, and it does appear there's an Allen head up here bolt, and underneath that's going to be some sort of like a little ball, as far as I can tell, that makes it so the shifter has that clicking. So I need to be careful when I open all this up that that doesn't go flying, or if it does, I find out where it went. So let's try and see. I don't know if this is going to come off the top or off the bottom here. Oop, there we go. There goes the brake pad, which is actually in really good shape, surprisingly. And it appears this brake piece wants to come with the, ooh, that's nasty, gears and all here with the top. Okay, so I'm wondering if I need to turn this around somehow and pull it from the bottom. So I think I'm going to flip this over and pull the bottom off. My battery died in the middle of all this. I actually did flip this around, and the top came off a lot easier that way. These gears definitely want to stay with the well, I should say actually the bottom came off easier. The gears definitely want to stay with this top piece here. So I place the rear end, hopefully in the camera, in a place where you can see it a little better here. And I'm working on this rear end part, trying to kind of get this out to make it so I can put this down on the table and work on it a little better. And in the means of doing that, I assume this was more like a regular automotive rear end, which it is very similar. But if you, all the videos I've watched, there's C-clips in here similar to an automotive rear end, and mine, for unknown reasons, somebody used snap rings. So you're going to need a pair of these bent pliers here to get. And I'm hoping I can get in here and get this out of here, but this is kind of ridiculous. I can't believe they used a snap ring for something like this. I'm going to try and just pull this rear end kind of up and out for now and see if I can. Yep. So that comes off. To let all the blocks fall here as they may. Okay. Use up the last of my brake clean on this. Just enough left to be able to figure out there's like a roll pin in here, which I don't know why I wasn't thinking, but you know, you need to get this out before you can push your axles in to get these out anyway. But in the same way, I'm pretty sure if you wanted to do this, you probably could. If you can get these off and over the top of these, just pull these out without pulling this out, I think. I'm not positive, because they are not C-clips. They're the split rings. I don't know why. I cannot think of the name of them. I know I said it earlier, so they're those. Anyhow, and the other caveat to that is if you're planning on welding up your rear end and things like that, you need to make sure that what you clean it with, especially from, yet again, I don't know anything about it. I have not done my own research, but supposedly if you use brake cleaner that isn't chlorinated free or whatever, and you go to start welding on things, you can end up killing yourself. You decide that on your own. But for me, mine was non-chlorinated. I haven't decided if I'm going to weld this up later on at some point or not, but I may. And there it is right there. Came out fairly easy. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that's what I need to do to make this come out. And it is. So hopefully you guys can make sure you guys can see this. And the pin is coming out. You can also see right here the pin on the side where this goes has like a groove in it, and then this goes down and slides into that groove, and that's what keeps it from going back and forth. So with that removed, just gonna leave that all inside there. We should be able to bring these in, the axles in, and give ourselves some room to kind of get these. Now normally, like I said, you'd have some sort of a C-clip in here, and these would just practically fall out. And if you use a magnet on them, it's quite easy. But for some reason, they don't have that in here. So we're going to try this again. Snap ring, that's the name of it again. So we got the snap ring pliers here, and now this is a little more free. Well, YouTube, I had a heck of a time trying to get these things off of here. I finally was able to, as I pulled it apart with this, prying it off at the same time, trying to pry the ends. Once I got it pried out, just took 2 screwdrivers and pried it off until it finally snapped off of there. It was a pain in the butt. There was just no other way of putting it. It was a bear to get those things off. If I knew it would work, I'd put C-clips in this, but I don't want to take a chance. So luckily I didn't break them, so I should be able to reuse them, and hopefully I won't have to do this again, because that sucked. Anyhow, I am done with that part of it, so I should be able to, in theory, pull these off. Now there's a couple washers down here that fell out, which they'll probably fall out in your case, and they go in between the case and the gears right here on the outside part. So keep an eye out for those if they fall. Yeah, again, it's a good idea to have like a pan or something underneath all this, so if it does fall, it falls here instead of off and rolling onto the table, hopefully. So I'm hoping I should be able to pull this off, but for some reason this gear doesn't want to come off. Okay. There we go. This goes on this direction here, so on this shaft here there is a bushing. I may see if I can get some new ones of those. They actually don't look too bad. And then there's also a bearing which looks to be pretty not so good. It's a needle bearings inside there, and they're not really, it's not moving, so unfortunately, but it doesn't look like it's wore down the shaft, thank goodness. So I'm gonna have to take a look and see if I can get a set of these somewhere. Now on the side towards this direction here again, we got a washer which appears to be about the same size as the big ones on the inside here, but you may want to still keep them separated so that you know. And then there's the bushing on this side as well, looks the same as well, and also another bearing. And this one doesn't feel like it's moving real freely either, so I'm gonna have to take a look at these and make sure that we either can get these cleaned up and working right, or find some new ones. Well, YouTube, as you can see in front of me, I got a lot of parts and pieces and things here, and as of now, editing these videos, this is going to just be way too long to make one video out of. So there's going to be at least probably 3, maybe more videos just on doing this tractor to get it back going again. That's not counting what I'd like to do with it in the future. But anyhow, mostly the rear end, there's just too much involved, and as most of you know, I don't do these videos for people who already know what's here and what they're going to do. I make these videos for people who are looking for the information on how to do it. So therefore, to make it as in-depth as it needs to be, it's just going to make too long a video. So we're going to call this a video. Keep an eye out for the next one. And this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.